Alright, so we're on the road. We're actually in Eugene, Oregon right now. Just stopped. It's kind of wet and everything. Last night yesterday was our first day. We got a late start. We didn't get to a campsite until like 9:20 last night, so and it was kind of drizzling. So we ended up not setting up any tents. We just slept in the trucks. A friend of mine is with us and he's driving my pickup. And last night, and Martha just tripped me. Martha, calm down. But so Martha is in here, and last night, because she was kind of antsy and everything, we took out all this stuff and I slept right in here. And then here's our big heavy trailer and the family wagon with me, Whitney, and the kids. And this one's pulling a U-Haul trailer. So on our way. Yeah.
Great! You slid it like this?
Come on.
So we are in the truck and about to go through the Canadian border. It's really exciting. So far, so good. The trailers run really well and the drive has been pretty smooth and camping has been pretty fun. So I guess we're getting ready to make it all happen. The kids are actually behaving, which is interesting. And so yeah, so we're about, what, half a mile away from the border, and we'll let you know how the crossing goes. So we're in Canada, which is great. We made it. We crossed the border just now. We just left the station, I guess. And it was a little bit more than we were expecting, but it really wasn't terrible. So we had a little issue because we had shipped our firearms, but we were carrying ammunition. And, you know, Jared had called earlier to the little, I guess their customer service or whatever, just to check and see if carrying ammunition was okay. And they said, yeah, no problem. And it really wasn't a problem. It's just they wanted to verify everything. And so we got searched. We got opened up, and it really wasn't terrible. It was what, about an hour?
Yeah, about an hour and a half. They were all polite. I got a little bit of a shakedown from some of the officers. They went out for a while. They came back in and pulled me around to the corner. Not pulled, but they called me around to the corner. Had me empty my pockets, and there's 3 of them all. I was a deputy for 6 years. I kind of know what they're doing. But it's because they found my small gun safes, which I had failed to tell them I had because they're empty. I had told them about my big one that has the ammo in it, and they found my smaller ones, and they're like, so what else do you got? I'm like, what? So once I gave them the codes to the safes and all that, they were totally cool. They calmed down, and they went out, searched it, came back in and said, good to go pack up your stuff again. So we had to pack about half a trailer back up. But other than that, wasn't bad. About an hour and 15 or so.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I mean, they did everything. We just waited in their little waiting room area. I mean, the people were, you know, pleasant. They weren't like super friendly, but they were pleasant. Like, they got, our 4-year-old needed some water, and so they just went and got him a cup of water. I mean, you know, it wasn't anything terrible. Ooh, Canada cup! So it wasn't terrible. You know, it was just more, I guess, more hassle than we were expecting. But it definitely wasn't awful by any means, and they were super professional. I mean, they were direct, you know, they just wanted answers and they wanted some clarity for sure on things, but it wasn't terrible. So anyway, it was a little bit nervous, just kind of sitting there with the kids and waiting and all that. But you know, all's well that ends well. It was fine, and we are in Canada, so we are continuing on getting to Alaska. And for goodness sakes, that's all I care about. So, and you know, they didn't take any of the ammo. They just wanted to look at it and just see, you know, what else was there. And once they were satisfied, they told us we could pack up and, you know, go on. So yeah, it all worked out pretty well, I think. And you know, we're headed to the campground now. A little later than we were hoping for, but still just fine. Not a big deal. So yeah, there you have it.
Have the pillow so I could hit you in the face.
Well, here's a really big lake that is still frozen over. It's McLeod Lake. And here we are, very last few days of April, and it looks like pretty thick with ice. So hopefully, that's
my hopeful face. We still have to go quite a ways north.
Yeah, we're still heading north for sure, but so it might be a little chilly, but we're good.
Apparently we have a train by our campground. Martha's not a fan. You're walking like 180, 200 pounds on one foot. Oh!
That's
Lake Pass. It says that's a lake, but
Hey Andy, this on the left is actually a lake. They say it's got snow year round.
so the road is.
Who's that now?
The guidebook says there's snow on it year round, or there can be. But yeah, so I guess it's still frozen over right now.
Yeah, apparently so. Probably could walk across that right now. It's so cold.
No, is this Marsh Lake?
Alright, it is now Thursday morning. We're outside of Teslin, Yukon territory. That's Teslin Lake. We got in super late last night just trying to make up some time. Had 2 flat tires yesterday, going through Summit Lake Pass in that area. So we ended up pulling here about 10:30 last night and just sleeping in the trucks on the side of the road. We were not the only ones. There were several people here last night. But today we're going on to Whitehorse and hopefully on to Tok, Alaska.
Hey guys, so we made it, kind of, we're almost there. We are in the town of Beaver Creek and we are like a few miles from the US border. It has been a very interesting road trip past few days, but all in all it was what, like 8 days? No, 9 days.
This is our 8th day on the road. We're not there yet. So
Okay,
it's supposed to be 7 days, and now we're already 8. We still have another day and a half, maybe.
yeah, day and a half before we get to the property. So, but
3
the
flat
cool
tires.
3 flat tires.
One
yes.
we just had a blowout like an hour ago.
Yeah, all of a sudden you think that he's a boy.
And then other mechanical issues. We hit a
gear
snowstorm.
thing, couple snowstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So it has been eventful, definitely. But we have gotten through, and we are this close, or so close to at least being on the America side of our trip. So anyway, so the kids are basically doing okay for the most part. We've got a DVD player and activity books, and lots of friends who gave us activity books, and markers and crayons and pencils and maps and everything else. So it's actually worked pretty well for everybody. And our dog got loose out of her kennel in the Yukon, and she came running right back to us. It was really cute. Actually, it was mostly Jared. She came running back to Jared. She kind of thought about coming back to me, but she was really more interested in coming back to Jared. So anyway, so yeah, it's been really cool. So we're about to go through the U.S. border from the Canadian side, and I hope everything goes well. I can't imagine things going wrong because it's where we live. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. In Alaska, there's the sign kind of over there, and there's our vehicle, the poor dear. It's amazing, but we're finally here. Okay, now we gotta go to the border.
Guys,
That valley. That's really cool.
Look back in that valley over there. That's the glacier. Out this way.
Oh, nice.
Look at that between the mountains. That's a glacier. Where it's just like a frozen river.
That glacier.
Yep.
That's a frozen river.
It's kind of like a frozen river, but there's no water underneath it. It's just solid ice.